From the Vox Media Podcast Network and The Cut, this is Tefi Talks. I can't believe it's already the third episode. Time is really zooming by. We've got plenty to talk about today. I hope your pop culture belly is full after today's episode. I love talking Hollywood. There's no business like business that isn't mine. Support for the show comes from Dove. Most of us have tried a lot of different deodorants in our lives. Finding the perfect aluminum-free deodorant that actually works can feel impossible. Enter Dove Aluminum Free. It's free of aluminum, parabens, and baking soda. Gentle to skin, and it'll keep you smelling fresh for 72 hours. So finally, the search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. Now, here are some headlines that caught my eye this week. In big rock news, soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo proposed to his girlfriend of 8 years with the largest diamond I have ever seen. The ring is so big that it starts at the base of her finger and goes over the knuckle. Show them. That was a picture of the ring. That is not AI. That is real. Appraisers are saying this ring is one of the rarest and most exquisite diamonds in the world and appears to be 50 carats, which is about 10 grams. And that means nothing to me because I don't know math. So listen, that's also like the weight of a AAA battery or 10 birthday candles. Everyone say thank you to Olive, one of my writers, for figuring that out. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. There are very few people in pop culture history who have worn a rock quite as large as Cristiano Ronaldo's soon-to-be wife, Georgina. Gucci Mane, his wife, is also sporting a huge rock. He upgraded her ring to a 60-carat diamond in 2019. Whenever I get to talk about Gucci Mane, my life lights up. I love Gucci Mane. In fact, I call him by his government name, Radrick Davis. My favorite quote of Gucci Mane's is when they asked him, why do they call you Gucci Mane? He goes, I don't know, they called my dad that. That's a perfect answer. I also read his book cover to cover. Love him. Also, Richard Burton gifted Elizabeth Taylor a 69.42 carat ring from Cartier in 1969 for $1 million. That is $9 million today. I would too if I was a jealous asshole. And I don't mean that he was like a womanizer, much worse. He was jealous of Elizabeth Taylor. I will never forget the story about when they were both nominated for Oscars and she won and he didn't. So he locked himself in a room, got himself belligerently drunk and destroyed everything in the room. Which is probably why he kept buying her so much fucking jewelry. If you look up how much they spent in jewelry, I cannot believe. That's why they lived on a boat for so long. That's why they lived on a boat. I think that she's one of the people that put Bulgari and like Cartier like on the map because she was always wearing diamonds, always. And I would too if my husband was a jealous asshole. I'd just like to add that the reason Cristiano Ronaldo did not propose is because he said, I'm just waiting to feel that spark. And what he means is like, he explains it as when he feels real, true alignment in his relationship. This is a woman that they had twins with through a surrogate. You're willing to have twins via surrogacy with this woman and have 2 other children. And she's helping raise your other child. He had like a son before, whatever. And now he's like, you know what? I think we're aligned. You think you're aligned? I don't know what he did. But what I do know is that's a big ass fucking rock. That is a big ass rock. So whatever he did to Georgina, I'm glad you got your ring, babe. But it is ridiculous. When I wear like real pearls, I'm like, oh, I hope nobody notices. That rock is insane. I also would like to mention that the way that they met, I think she was a sales girl at a high-end store and they left the store open for Cristiano Ronaldo after hours, and that's how they fell in love, and he started picking her up after work. Ladies, if you want to be with a man who hates you, you can do it too. She really... Imagine having to explain to your 5 children why mommy and daddy are finally going to get married. We finally like each other. I feel a real spark with her. In big announcement news, Taylor Swift went on boyfriend Travis Kelce's and brother Jason Kelce's podcast to announce her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, which is coming out October 3rd. Their podcast is called New Heights, which I thought was going to be just like the musical turned movie In the Heights about Puerto Rican kids in Washington Heights. It's not. Beyond the album announcement, Travis and Taylor publicly talk about their love story for the very first time. Taylor credits the podcast, The Heights, for bringing them together, saying Travis decided to use it, the podcast, as his personal dating app about 2 years ago. I cannot believe they've already been together for 2 years. In 2023, Travis Kelce goes to a Taylor Swift concert in Kansas City with hopes to meet her and give her a friendship bracelet that he made. I don't know if it's because I watched that Hallmark movie that's about their relationship. I believe he took his niece, but again, I do love that little detail in the Hallmark movie. For non-Swifties out there, fans exchange friendship bracelets at concerts during the Eras tour. I went to the Eras tour and I didn't have any friendship bracelets. It was humiliating, but I did get a few. And some of them said, "Hello, Taylor," or "Hello." No, I got a friendship bracelet from her dad. How sweet is that? What a nice man. I've never met anybody from Pennsylvania who's mean. They're all Quakers, right? It's like Quaker blood. So kind. Are those the people that make preserves? No, that's Amish. Travis goes to the concert, and because he's a Chiefs player, he thinks, I'm going to have no problem getting to meet Taylor because I know the elevator lady. But obviously, she has security and a management team that protects her from men like him. So Taylor Swift hilariously points out he thought because he knows the elevator lady that he could talk to her about getting down to my dressing room. And that's how it worked in 1973. But he really was just I know a guy. I can figure this out. And I am exactly like this because I come from a long line of Latinos who also know a guy. If I went to a bar in Miami right now without an ID, I'd say, no worries, I probably know a guy. That's who I am. If I go into a store, I'm looking for somebody because I must know a guy. After the concert, Travis Kelce goes on an episode of his podcast, The Heights, and complains that he can't give Taylor a friendship bracelet. Taylor sees it, reaches out. They start talking sometime shortly after his 2023 episode. She shows up at a Chiefs game a few months later, and the rest is history. And she probably did that how? Because she knew a guy. Women in STEM. Taylor Swift thinks that him going on the podcast and complaining about not meeting her was such a wild romantic gesture. My girl, you know who I would like to meet? A timely menstrual cycle. If podcasts are a machine of manifestation, I'm talking to you, uterus. Listen to me, come to me. I hope to see you. What day is it today? I hope to see you in 4 days. Promise? Quote, he was standing outside of my window with a boombox being I want to date you. Do you want to go on a date with me? I made you a friendship bracelet. Do you want to date me? Here are some honorable mentions from this episode. Taylor Swift mentions that Travis taught her about football on their first date and now she's obsessed. And to that I say, ladies, is it mansplaining if he's a professional football player? No, right? It's just explaining then, right? Okay. She also adds, and my friends are who body snatched you? We've all been a friend in the situation where your friend starts dating a Bushwick DJ, okay? Or a promoter. And all of a sudden she's smoking cigs and she's stick poking all over her body. She's looking like a Chipotle bag. And she's loving films. Now she's a cinephile. She's you know what we should watch on girls' night? Of Mice and Men. Talking about that, I think I've been that friend. It's do you guys want to watch foreign film? And they're let it go. Okay. Taylor Swift is an amazing writer and she has an amazing vocabulary. And Travis is super obsessed and impressed with her vocabulary. When she uses the word esoteric, he says, she's so hot when she says those big words. It could all be so simple. I love that. He doesn't need much. And I love that. You know? I also love when he's so he was playing video games and he put his headset down. He's boys, I gotta go. But it is so simple. If Travis Kelce was in front of me right now, I'd go, boop. Life imitates art. If you've seen the movie Valentine's Day, where Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner play a couple. This feels exactly like something they would have said to each other. Here's a clip.
What is it about her that makes you so happy?
Well, she's beautiful. She makes me laugh. And she does my geometry.
Bonus.
Now we're back. In more NFL news, New Orleans Saints fans who identify as flops. Flops is hilarious. They just learned that they have male cheerleaders and they are super mad about it. For context, okay? 1/4 of the Saints cheer squad are men, and the cheer squad has had men on it for years and years and years. 1/3 of NFL teams have male cheerleaders. Funny enough, the same people who are mad about the Saints should also be upset about their political heroes. Ronald Reagan was a cheerleader. George Bush was head cheerleader of his high school cheerleading squad. Head cheerleader. Yeah, he wasn't just holding people up. He was, let's go team, let's go. You know, I think that homophobia is just the fear that men will treat you the way that men treat women. Truly. And you know who else is on cheer squads? Hot girls. I watched Bring It On, and I think only like a couple of them are gay. The rest of the boys on that cheer squad, you remember the scene where the boy's like stretching the girl and she's like, that's what I thought male cheerleaders were gonna be on the cheer squad for, to get near girls. The way these boys are moving though on these cheer squads, I don't think that they're in it for the girls. The Minnesota Vikings have 2 boy cheerleaders and they are divas of the highest degree. They are absolutely killing it. And in one of their pictures, if one of the Minnesota Vikings boys sees this, what blush are you wearing and what mascara? You look incredible. More divas on football. Everybody wants divas, and then you get a diva. Also, like, there is nothing gayer than being homophobic. It is so gay. It's like the gayest thing you could do besides having sex with men. That's the gayest thing you could do. Speaking of people who believe in alternate reality, Machine Gun Kelly went on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and he says he believes he's an alien. During the show, Andy Cohen compliments the way MGK looked, and he responded, "It's a weird thing, dude. I don't know if my age, I don't know if it exists. I don't know if my age, I don't know if it exists." Meaning he thinks he's like thousands of years old. So he says, "I just don't know many facts about my life. Like my skin, if it rips open, it heals really quick." How does that joke go? Every time I see a blonde man, I say, grow up, only babies should be blonde. I love that. Also, blonde men will do anything to be special. When my skin opens up, I do think this is what happens when spiritual women make their boyfriends feel so special. They're like, baby, you and I are star-crossed lovers. When we were born, we were like nebula split into, like, Megan Fox gassed him up to the point where now he's like, wait, my scab, it's gone. They're like, it's been 2 weeks. And he's like, my scab. You know what I mean? He's like, wait, was there ever a time I didn't have a belly button? Like, shut the It's also like not alien DNA. It's that your girlfriend put you on a vitamin C serum and coconut oil. And you shouldn't be putting coconut oil on your face. It blocks your pores. And I learned that the hard way. Bangs, back knee. I've experienced so many things. I'm a veteran of life. Lastly, he thinks his mom fucked an alien, which is, maybe his mom is trying to say like, oh, I did do ayahuasca in the 70s, which is cool. Oh my God. Like one time I was dating this person and I let it go. Like I broke it off, and they called me and they're like, I did ayahuasca. And they left me like a 7-minute voicemail. They're like, and the horizon was lifting and I was an eagle soaring towards the sunset. And when I finally got to the light, it was you. And I'm like, don't you ever call me to talk about how you tripped and thought you were a bird ever fucking again. Also, you know what? If I can play devil's advocate, I hate to represent the devil in a court of law, but the world is on fire. And like, if you need to think you're part alien, that's okay with me. I have interviewed him and he is very, very charming. He's very charming and he's also tall. I get it. He's good with eye contact. He's like somebody that like, when you're talking to him, he's like talking to you, But I do have beef with him. In 2019, I went to Cleveland And I was at this bar, and the bartender is like, oh my God, Tefi, I love you. It's on me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Then MGK, what's his name? Colson walks in, all 6'7" of him. Okay. And the girl goes, because we're obviously in Cleveland, his hometown. He's a hometown hero, obviously. She's like, and she gives him a free whatever. I think he also got food or something. And I'm behind him. I'm the size of a mouse next to him. I'm tiny. And then she serves him and they laugh, whatever. And she looks at me and she goes, oh, Tefi, it'll be $26.50. What the fuck? You know, my favorite stuff is free stuff. So gross. Support for the show comes from Dove. We're all looking for those peak-defining experiences. The moment when you're out dancing and your favorite song comes on. The sunset stroll through an unfamiliar city with no destination in mind. Or the afternoon coffee date that turns into a whole weekend, you naughty girl. Your deodorant should be worthy of all the amazing adventures you take it on. And now it is with Dove aluminum-free deodorant with scents like coconut and pink jasmine and cucumber and green tea. Dove aluminum-free deodorant offers long-lasting freshness with 72-hour odor protection. It glides on smooth and clear, and it's free of aluminum, baking soda, parabens, so you can give your underarms the same level of care you give the rest of your body. Dove aluminum-free deodorant lets you be the most confident version of you, so that when your next peak experience comes along, you're ready to dive in. The search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove, aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. And you know what? Speaking of people who live in alternate realities and people who definitely get free drinks all the time, we're going to do a deep dive today on a cinematic universe, a Hollywood royalty, so powerful, so interconnected, so randomly famous. You will start spiraling by the end of this deep dive. And now I give you the Coppola family tree. Basically, I posted something on my Instagram and my friend Sasha responded and she was like, wait, you don't know this lore? And I was like, you know what? I need to look further into this family tree. And I'm so glad I did. It is insane. If you can name at least 3 Coppolas, not named Francis or Sophia, you are truly scratching the surface. We've got directors, we've got actors, thespians, fashion designers, musicians. It's like the Avengers, but for art school kids and nepotism babies. Let's get into it. We begin with Francis Ford Coppola, who was born in 1939 to Italia and Carmine Coppola, who were first-generation Italian immigrants. Carmine and Italia's descendants have 23 Oscar nominations combined, 9 Oscar wins, including Best Actor, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Original Score, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Picture. What is in the water? Also, randomly, Francis also opened a winery called Francis Ford Coppola Winery in 2010. He really spelled it out for us. Thank you, King. That's like if I opened a winery and I'm like, you know what? Call it Estefania Vanegas Pessoa. Can I just side note for a second? I went to school with people who were like Cindy Smith, you know? And the first day of school, you know when you walk in, it's a desk and has like 3 dotted lines because they want you to like practice writing your name. I cannot believe that my mom was like, you know what? Put the whole name, Estefania Vanegas Pessoa. I remember my teacher being like, you kind of slant at the end when you're doing your name. And I was like, because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. There's 9 letters in Estefania alone. At one point, I think in 2nd grade, I was like, just call me Steph P. Didn't work out. And I don't look like a Steph P. You know what I mean? Anyway. Sorry, Francis. I think I've had your wine. Gorge. Notes of Nepo. Okay, so Francis is the middle of 3 children. Francis's older brother, August, was a huge influence in his films and ended up being a literature professor. Remember August? Francis's younger sister, Talia, known as Talia Shire, became a famous actor. Francis came from a long line of artists. Francis's grandfather, Francesco Perenina, was a pianist and a musician. and wrote scores for silent films. Francis's father, Carmine, studied at Juilliard for flute, and later Carmine wrote the Oscar-winning score for The Godfather. I don't remember a lot of flute in The Godfather. Back to Francis. Francis shoots his first film, Dementia 13, and falls in love with the art director, Eleanor Neal, later Eleanor Coppola. Career-wise, he goes on to direct Apocalypse Now, The Outsiders, which, by the way, watching that in 7th grade was incredibly horny. Okay, I was incredibly horny. The cast, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, other hotties. He also did Bram Stoker's Dracula, which, by the way, watching in 8th grade, incredibly horny stuff. Also, do you know that Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves think that they might actually be married in Romania because they use an actual Romanian priest for the wedding scene? Pop culture. Of course, Francis is also known for the Godfather trilogy. Francis and Eleanor have 3 children, Giancarlo in 1963, Roman in 1964, and Sofia in May 1971. Giancarlo, the oldest son of Francis Ford Coppola, was a camera operator on Gardens of Stone in 1986, but he tragically died at the age of 22 during a boating accident when they went on a break from filming on set. In an interview with Vulture, Francis says, "There's one movie I would have never made because it cost me everything. And that was one of the movies I made at a time when I had to make a movie every year to keep my house and my household together. I fantasize having not made Gardens of Stone. I wouldn't have lost my son." Roman Coppola, the middle son of Francis Ford Coppola, is Wes Anderson's creative collaborator. He was a writer, producer, and collaborator on films such as Moonrise Kingdom, The Darjeeling Limited, and The French Dispatch, and Isle of Dogs. In Italian, that means amazing. And he also co-wrote and executively produced Asteroid City. Roman said the movie Moonrise Kingdom is based on a note he got in 4th grade from a girl he was in love with. Quote, "Basically, one day she gave me a note that said, 'I think you're cute. Call me.'" He's married to musician and writer Jennifer Furches, and they have 3 kids, Pascal, Marcelo, and Alessandro. Side note. This family has the best names. I love when children have scary names. Like, I love it when you meet somebody, it's like, "Hi, my name's Ornella Reyes de los Rios." I'm like, you are so scary. I love that. Maybe that's because I want Estefania Vanegas Pessoa to be scary. Whatever. Steph P here. Sofia Coppola is the youngest of 3 children of Francis Ford Coppola. Sofia was born while The Godfather was filming, and her father, Francis, grabbed a camera from set to videotape her birth. Sofia's first movie role was being an infant in The Godfather. Her real-life christening doubled as a film scene, introducing her to cinema even before she could walk. Career-wise, Sofia is the first American woman and 3rd woman overall to be nominated for the Best Director Academy Award. So fucking rock and roll. So Sofia marries Spike Jonze in 1999, who's a producer of Her, wrote the movie Where the Wild Things Are, and directed Being John Malkovich. I fucking love Being John I don't love Being John Malkovich. I love the movie Being John Malkovich. Okay, I love the movie. They got married. They were the first married couple to both receive Best Director Oscar nominations. They divorced in 2003. Sofia then dates Quentin Tarantino for 2 years. Quentin Tarantino has talked about how much he loves sucking toes. Sofia, did you decide? Sofia, did Quentin Tarantino's... You don't have to answer that. If Sofia Coppola dated Quentin Tarantino, that means that Trisha Paytas and Sofia Coppola have slept with the same man. I could end the show right there, but it gets better. Over the course of these relationships, Thomas Mars was writing songs and score for Sofia Coppola's films. In 2011, she marries Thomas Mars, who is the frontman for the band Phoenix, who sings, you do know who Phoenix is, by the way. They sing, "Listomania, crash with city girl, look around, not easily offended, gotta let it go, from the around this. Oh, slow down, right? That was good. Yeah. Don't call me. I don't want to be a singer. I want to be a normal girl. I'm just in this office. Sofia and Thomas's daughter, Romy, is popping off on TikTok, and she has a viral song out. It's called A-Lister, and it goes like this. I met an actor last night. He called me a star. Okay, so moving on. Francis's older brother, August, the professor, has kids with his first wife and choreographer, Joy Vogelsang. They have kids Mark, Christopher, and Nicholas. Nicholas Coppola is Nicolas Cage. Sophia's cousin is Nicolas Cage. Sophia's nephew is a Nicolas Cage's goth son that I'm obsessed with. I love him. There was one point in time where Sofia Coppola was related to Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's daughter, after Lisa Marie divorced Michael Jackson. Hello! Is anybody listening? Nicholas launched his Hollywood career in the early 1980s and became a major star after winning the Oscar for Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas, then The Rock, Face Off, and my personal favorite, National Treasure. What a fucking movie. So Nicolas Cage changed his name from Nicholas Coppola to Nick Cage because in Nicholas's own words, he says, I changed my name because I was doing a little movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I was still Nicholas Coppola. And people would not stop saying things like, I love the smell of Nicholas in the morning because of Apocalypse Now and Robert Duvall saying, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. And it made it hard to work. That's not a hard day at work. Our day at work is like being hungover and having to face an Excel sheet. No. You're fine. He continues. I said, I don't need this, and I changed it to Cage. It's a combination of Luke Cage from Marvel Comics, who was a character I liked, also named Power Man, and John Cage, the avant-garde composer. Speaks volumes about everything I've been up to ever since. Okay. He's had a wild journey via matrimony. Nicolas Cage has been married 5 times. First to Patricia Arquette, indie queen. You probably know her from the show Medium. I know her as a love interest in Little Nicky. And she's a sister of Alexis Arquette, trans icon. Rest in peace to both of them. I cannot believe it. Then he marries Lisa Marie Presley. His longest marriage was to Alice Kim. He has a son with Alex Kim, who he named after Superman. He also had a 4-day Vegas marriage to Erika Koike before finding lasting happiness with Rico Shibata. He marries Rico in 2021, and they have a baby girl together. On the side, however, he spends his money quite reckless. He's a wild spender. Also on the side, he buys a $276,000 dinosaur skull that he has to then return because it was stolen illegally from Mongolia. He spent $150,000 on a Superman comic. Needless to say, he has a huge spending problem. And he apparently blew his $150 million fortune. Yahoo Finance reported that by 2009, he was on the brink of bankruptcy. This is why he takes every single movie possible. Like sometimes I'll see a trailer for something and I'm like, this is a horrible movie. Why is Nick Cage in it? It's because he was broke, but now he's worked his way up to a $25 million net worth. He was also a top Elvis collector. He loved Elvis Presley. And then he married his daughter, which I think we can all agree is what? Weird. Now to the last of Francis Ford Coppola's siblings. Francis's younger sister, Talia, became a well-known actress who acted in the Godfather trilogy and Rocky. Talia marries producer Jack Schwartzman in 1980. Together, Talia and Jack have sons Jason and Robert. Robert is known for The Virgin Suicides, directed by Sophia. He's also the hottie in the first Princess Diaries, and he's the frontman of the band Rooney. Jason is known for being an actor. Jason Schwartzman. Hello. He's like Wes Anderson's favorite person ever. He's in Rushmore. That's where his debut came about in 1998. The Darjeeling Limited, Asteroid City, Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is also what? My favorite book. And this is interesting because his uncle Roman, as we mentioned, is a big collaborator of Wes Anderson. So Wes Anderson probably met Jason at a dinner party. And he's like, I like him. So in a nutshell, we have Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather, literally and figuratively, directed the Godfather trilogy, won Oscars, changed cinema, invented vibes, also owns a winery because why not? Talia Shire Adrian from Rocky, a literal icon. She was in the Godfather movies too. It's a family business. And her son is Jason Schwartzman, Wes Anderson's favorite sad boy. He's technically Sofia Coppola's cousin and brother to Robert Schwartzman, or who I like to call the other Nepo baby you probably forgot about, and that's okay. Then Nicolas Cage, chaotic Nepo king, born Nicholas Kim Coppola. Yes, he's Francis's nephew and the son of Francis's brother August. Changed his name to Cage to avoid Nepo bias. Cut to him winning an Oscar. Went full method, bought dinosaur skulls, married Lisa Marie Presley, lived fast, spend faster. Sofia Coppola, ethereal indie princess, daughter of Francis, directed Lost in Translation, Marie Antoinette, and The Virgin Suicides. First American woman to win Best Director at Cannes. Married to Thomas Mars, lead singer of the French band Phoenix. Mother to Romy Mars, who made a TikTok saying that she got in trouble for using her parents' helicopter. Roman Coppola, the mysterious brother who's behind everything, Francis's son, Sophia's brother, and co-writes with Wes Anderson and produces stuff. Hell, did you get that? I want to say this. I think everyone's a Nepo baby. For example, I'm a Nepo baby in the wealth management industry. Thanks, Mom. And I think my dad sells life insurance. I'm a life insurance Nepo baby. If your mom is a teacher, you're an education Nepo baby. You know what I mean? We're all Nepo babies. And some of us don't have Oscars, Nicholas. So yes, today's deep dive was requested. I take requests. Ask me what you want to know. Ask me what you want to hear. You know which one I hear all the time? Tefi, why do Christina Aguilera and Eminem hate each other? Well, to be clear, Eminem hates everybody, and so does Christina Aguilera, which I'm fine with. But if you have anything you want to talk about, any lore, let me know. I have so much information and access to the internet. And now, a little break. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Thanks to Dove for their support. Most of us know what it's like to feel like you found the one, only to be let down. I'm not talking about your love life, I'm talking about your deodorant. Dove aluminum-free deodorant will keep you feeling and smelling fresh for up to 72 hours. It's free of aluminum, parabens, and baking soda, and it's gentle on your skin. The search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove, aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. Now, it's time. Let's consider the science. You didn't think we're done with this Machine Gun Kelly story, did you? Because we're not. For a man who believes that he's an alien, he is tatted with his astrological signs. Like a mere mortal. MGK's sun is in Taurus. This is the baseline vibe. He's stubborn, sensual, and steady. I do find Taurus men to be very shy as well, or like reserved. They like to follow your lead vibe-wise in a social situation. You know what I mean? He's the coworker that is mad if you take a pen from his desk without asking. Then it's war, especially if it's a pen that like glides. You know what I mean? Taurus men definitely have a favorite pen. Taurus sons want comfort and control. Like, he'll take you on a romantic getaway, but he's also mad that you picked the Airbnb. He's calm and patient under pressure, allegedly. I have seen a Taurus man crash out, though, before, and that is some spooky, spooky stuff. His moon is in Pisces. Pisces moons, I do feel, como se dice, are cheaters. I feel like, because the moon is your emotions, right? Your inner world. I do feel they romanticize people a little too quickly. They don't feel emotions, they become emotions. They don't imagine a storyline, they become a storyline, which makes a lot of sense for him. Also, deeply, deeply intuitive. He probably knew that him and Megan Fox were going to get back together before she did, but I know that she is an ancient, ancient witch, and that's a story for another time, but I do believe that she is probably the alien, and I believe her. He's a Gemini rising, which is also very scary. For those who don't know, your rising sign is like how people view you. So your sun is the car that you're driving, the make and model. Your moon is how you feel on the road, but your rising is how other people see you on the road. He is a walking contradiction. in a spiky purple suit, which is the suit that I interviewed him in. He's quick-witted, he has a great sense of humor, and he is always reinventing himself. Gemini risings are, I think, pretty rock and roll, and he's charming. That Pisces moon, Taurus sun make him feel comfortable to be around. Dangerous. His Venus is in Pisces, and this is no surprise. This is a man who falls in love after 3 glances across the room and a shared cigarette. He's 500 Days of Summer, Joseph Levitt Gordon. Is that his name? Joseph Gordon? Joe Gordon? JLG? JLG. That character, he is a Pisces Venus. He wants soulmate level love. And if it ends in flames, even better. He will thank you in his liner notes, and he will be talking about that heart-wrenching experience with the next person he's lying next to. Venus and Pisces love pillow talk, love. And love isn't casual for him. It is cosmic. And what rhymes with cosmic? He's maybe a little toxic. And that's okay. That's okay. His Mercury is in Taurus, so if you can believe it, he thinks before he speaks. He is very deliberate about how he communicates. And his Mars is also, wait for it, in Pisces. This is a sensitive boy who, like, cries at his Father's Day cards from his daughter, who is gorgeous, by the way. His daughter's stunning. He doesn't have a plan. He's more someone who believes that it was cosmically divine of you two to meet. And he's also someone that, like, I feel like people who have a lot of Pisces placements have a lot of good luck, but also are people who are criticized heavily and then have a hard time taking criticism. So that must be tough. But his Gemini rising is like a good armor, I feel, you know? He can get himself out of any kind of sticky situation, and he will rob a free drink from you. From right under your nose. A cocktail in Cleveland for $26 is fucking crazy. Not that you know, because it was free. I'm going to let it go. I also feel like people who have Pisces Mars are very passive aggressive, which is my least favorite kind of aggressive. My favorite aggressive is directly aggressive, but they let things fester for a little too long, and then they never confront directly. They kind of just fade out and won't tell you why. And then years later, they'll be like, can't you see? Couldn't you see? You know what I mean? Are you really that blind? Is it not clocking to you that I was standing on what? Negocio. Business. Can I be a bitch for a second? I flew from Seattle to New York on Sunday. That's a 4-hour trip. It's 4 hours. 4.5 hours, actually. Whoever decided to rip absolute ass the entire flight, that's fucking crazy. I have been in Ubers full of fart. I have a brother. I know farts. I have dated men. I know, it's so scary. I know what kind of farts men are capable of, okay? Yesterday, it was so bad that I can't believe that I still have eyelashes. I can't believe it. Being in that airplane felt like when you open an oven too fast. That was crazy town, USA. I almost feel guilty because I'm scared whoever was farting like that is dead. There's no way that came from that fart is what I imagined a zombie fart to be like. For how many hours? 4.5. I'm just a little girl. I feel insane having to look at a camera and be like, if you're a man, go to the bathroom if you have to toot. But I must say, I don't think you were tooting. I think you were shitting your fucking pants. I'm begging you to care about me. I'm begging you to care about me. I'm begging you to care about me. I'm begging. So, what have we learned here today? Cristiano Ronaldo finally feels a spark with the woman he's been with for so many years and has numerous children with. Oh my God. Taylor loves football, and football is gayer than ever. Thank God. And Nicolas Cage has never been bullied, but he has been broke. Jason Schwartzman is a gift to us all, and men with bowels strike again. And that's it for today. If you're not already following the show, find us everywhere at Tefi Talks. We're on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform with each week's show. And Instagram and TikTok, so you can share with your other bestie. You have another best friend? Whatever. Our show is produced by Nisha Kurwa, Olive Martin, Brendan McFarland, Manolo Moreno, and Kate McAuliffe. Special thanks to Bryn Cummins and Davon Howard. Love you guys.